我是主持人瑞瑞主，很高兴欢迎 PCS 夏季赛的冠军队 PSG。Hey guys, I'm Ray Drew, and I'm here with our newly crowned PCS Summer Split champions and world's representatives, PSG. 你们好。
Hello，你好。
大
Hello
家好，
Hello，
大家
你好。
好，
Hello，
你好。
Congratulations on the win today. How do you feel about today's 3-2? 首先当然恭喜你们今天以3-2的成绩夺冠，代表 PCS 区赛世界赛。可以说一下现在的感受吗？
我说先吧，
人，
我先吗？
你先吧。
任何人
就是
请说。
没想到今天是能打到这么累的，就是对面给我们的压力也蛮大的，然后火龙给我的压力也蛮大的。
Kevin said that he didn't actually expect that today's series would be such a hard-fought series for them. He didn't expect to feel this much pressure in today's series. He felt a lot of pressure for himself. He also felt that Hanabi, his top laner, gave him a lot of pressure for today. Next, I want to ask Maple, your Xerath in game number 3, you had some pixel-perfect ultimates, even managing to catch out Doggo from a distance. That one time in mid. Can you let us know what you personally take into consideration in order to have such good ultimate timing and positioning? 那接下来想问给 Mabel 选手，就是关于在第3局玩的那个基勒斯被主播称为是大绝第一走位，然后有几次甚至抓到了对方的 doggo， 能够分享一下就第3局开大时的思考，还有跟队友的配合沟通吗？
因为那把奇勒斯的话，就是我觉得挺好发挥的嘛。然后对面的 AD Dogo 又是玩那个法洛斯嘛，没有位移的英雄。然后我们有那个特朗德嘛，他可以放柱子，那基本上我的大基本上就是自瞄了，就是直接锁烂。
So he said that in that game number 3 when he was playing Xerath, Doggo, of course, since he was playing on that Varus, he doesn't have any type of escape tool in his kit, so it was very easy to catch him out. Also because Kaiwing was playing the Trundle for the team in that game, and Trundle helped him a lot with giving the pillar as well for that CC. So he said that pretty much his ultimate at that point was just auto aim, and once he lands it, it's just an insta blow up. So the next question I want to ask to Maple is about game number 4. About 23 minutes in at the Baron Pit, which was when you were playing Zoe, you landed the bubble onto Husha, but you weren't able to blow him up instantly. But the team actually followed up, and subsequently you guys lost that team fight over at Baron. So can you explain to us what the team was thinking at that point in time? 接下来想问给 Maple 就是关于第4局20分钟。23分钟在巴龙的那一波，就没秒杀到 Husha 之后输了团战，就能够分享一下那时候团队的思考吗？
就很可惜吧，因为我们那把其实前面顶蛮久的，就是已经让一泽有两件装备了，但是那波团就是因为可能要问 River 那波有点戳嘛，就是没有阿闪，所以输了，但是没关系，打完之后我就说，威尔哥 ban 掉吧。
顶不住威尔哥，
顶不住，
顶不住。
太强了。
So he said that he feels that what happened during that skirmish was a bit wasted for their team because earlier on he thought that they were actually holding up pretty well during the game up until that point. They managed to hold on to when Ezreal had about 2 items in his kit. He says that with regards to what went wrong during that team fight, he thinks that we should maybe ask River instead because he thinks River messed up his our flash on the Lee Sin on that one. So next, I want to talk to Hanabi for a bit. I wanted to ask if you were less nervous for today's finals after winning yesterday's match versus JT 3-0 because in the interview that we had with you yesterday, you said that you were very nervous for yesterday. So I wanted to ask, comparing yesterday and today, when were you more nervous for? 接下来想问火龙选手，就是在昨天的采访中说对上台北这张队那场之前非常的紧张，那跟今天要打决赛之前相比的话，哪天的压力会比较大呢？
跟昨天那场比的话，今天肯定是压力比较大了，毕竟打到赛末点，然后前天也跟他们打满5场， 然后每次打上他们，我们打野压力给我都很大。
怎么大家都在说打野？ So Hanabi said that of course the pressure that they felt for today was a lot more because today is of course the finals, and also because today went to a full 5 games, just like the previous day. So they did feel a lot of pressure coming into today. Also, he again said that River did give them some pressure for today's series. So the next question I want to ask Hanabi is that we've seen in your player cams and also on PSG social media posts that you frequently do a lot of chores in the gaming house. We see you in the camera in the background, like mopping the floor, washing up cups. Is there a rule in the team house that everyone has to do their part in cleanup, or is it just something that you personally like to do? 接下来问题就是在 PSG 的社群还有赛后的镜头中，就常常可以看到火龙在做家事，比如说拖地或者洗杯等等的。想问一下，这是火龙天生爱干净，喜欢做家事呢，还是就队伍里有个规定，每个人要负责做一些清洁工作呢？
因为可能我在 PSG 队伍的地位有点小，然后要好好的做家事，给我的队友那个好好的练习，这样他们才能 carry 我。然后再加上我奴性可能比较重，所以就变这样了。
So he says that he does like cleaning. He thinks that he does cleaning for a bit, and he thinks that if he does that, then during the game his teammates will help to carry him. But he thinks that like just when they're not in the game in the gaming house, he feels like he does have that type of housewifey potential. So the next questions that I want to ask are for River. Firstly, do you prefer top jungle synergy or mid jungle synergy? 那接下来想问给 River 的就是比较喜欢中野联动还是上野联动呢？리버 선수 오늘 승리 정말 축하드립니다. 탑 정거 시너지와 미드 정거 시너지 중 어떤 거 더 좋아하신다요?
我喜欢中野配。
나비的脸，火龙有什么想说吗？
没事，帮中比较好。
So River said that he prefers mid jungle synergy over top jungle synergy, and Hanabi said it's fine. River, as long as he helps mid out more, it's easier for PSG to win as a team. So the next question for River is that you've shown us some very impressive smite skills throughout the course of the season. So I wanted to ask if you could rate your smite stealing skills versus the other PCS junglers. 这个赛季就 River 选手给我们看到了几波完美偷龙的技巧，能够评价一下自己抢龙的技能吗？然后跟其他战队的打野对比会几开呢？이번 시즌 동안 리버 선수가 강타로 용이랑 발언을 뱉는 장면을 볼 수 있었는데요. 발언 강타 스킬 어떤 거 보신다요? 퍼센트로 다시면 100% 중에 몇 퍼센트라고 생각하시나요?
我觉得中期这个真的不是怕。
So River said that he actually thinks that towards the middle of the game, especially, that he actually thinks it's 50-50. Very nice, very humble. What do the rest of you think? 那其他选手怎么认为呢？评价他一下。
我要发言，我们大家的终极感觉跟我比都比不过，感觉
没有，我看起来好像我们不是这几天比赛都是被偷龙吗？我看。
BCS 终极的神就是哈娜。
我记得第一天那个亮不是一个 Q1 就把龙吃了吗？
没事，我玩low 1的话，我可以换重击。
So The next question that I wanted to ask, the next couple of questions are for Unified. So I wanted to talk a bit about the bot lane performance for your team throughout playoffs so far, especially for today. Did you find it harder to play against Doggo today compared to when you faced up against him in the regular season? So can you talk to us about losing lane versus him in a couple of today's games? 接下来想问给鹏哥，就是会觉得在这个季后赛对上 Doggo 会比之前例行赛的时候对上 BYG 会难打吗？还有能够解释一下，只有今天几把在线上让 BYG 下路优势的原因吗？
我觉得 Doggo 应该是 PCS 最难打的 AD 吧。然后今天的话，就是我们都选一些比较给中山野去玩的阵容，所以可能他前面优势会大一点。
So he said that he thinks that personally, Doggo, amongst all the AD carries in the PCS, Doggo is the enemy ADC that gives him the most trouble in a lane. As for today and why bot lane is falling behind, he said that their team composition for PSG for most of today's games favored a top jungle mid in terms of their picks and bans. So as for the bottom lane, they picked the losing lanes a couple of times, which is why the goal difference seemed to be so big. So the next question I wanted to ask you was, I wanted to chat with you a bit about your bot duo with Kaiwing, because Unified, you're a rough in game, silent killing machine type of player, but famously in mic checks and on your stream, you don't actually talk all that much. So I wanted to ask how the two of you communicate in game in the bot lane. 那接下来就想跟你聊聊关于跟凯文选手在下路的双人组合，因为 Unified 选手在大家印象中是人狠话不多的选手，在比赛时跟对线的时候，通常是怎么跟凯文沟通的呢？
就是我们会提前说一下怎么打之类的，然后之后中期就是如果要帮忙就叫他，然后就给他中野辅技玩。
所以通常是说话还是亮拼还是什么呢？
比较多数是就是自己操作自己的，然后如果有失误就之后再说嘛。
So he says that as a bot duo, they don't really talk all that much during the game. They don't communicate that much. He says that usually going into game, they'll discuss beforehand how they're going to play out the lane. And then he says that towards the mid game also, because Kai Wing is their support, goes to help out their jungler a lot. So there isn't that much to talk about at that point in time. He says that if they do make mistakes, then later on they don't talk about it, but they don't talk about it as much in the game. 那你们俩是一起打下路打了4年多的关系，就是用心电感应就可以知道对方在想什么吗？
就可能团练的时候都大概知道了，所以比赛也差不多吧。
So he says that because their bot lane has actually played together for more than 4 years together, he says that it comes a bit more natural to them at this point, and they kind of tend to know what each other wants to do in the lane. 那凯文选手有什么想加的吗？就一开始跟 Unify 搭配玩下路的时候，会跟现在相比的话，现在沟通会比之前好吗？
感觉差不多吧，就是基本上，对线或是之后怎么打都先说一说，然后就他都自己操作好，就别太多失误就可以。
So Kaiwing says he actually also doesn't have all that much to add. He agrees with Unified. He thinks that in general they do just discuss how they want to play out the lane. He says Unified because he's a very mechanically gifted player as well. Unified is able to play out the lane properly. So as for Kaiwing, he really just hopes that as long as Unified doesn't make all too many mistakes in lane, it's great. He also says that comparing their communication from 4 years ago to right now, it actually hasn't changed all that much. So my next questions are for Kai Wing. I have to ask, how is the team going to celebrate today now that you're summer split champions? Because after spring finals and our team interview, I remember you said that the team was going to play mahjong. So what are you guys going to do? Is it going to be the same this time around? 那接下来问给卡威选手的就是赢了决赛，打算怎样庆祝呢？就是春季决赛后说要开桌打麻将，那今天呢？
今天嘛，虽然这一次就没有麦当劳外送嘛，但是应该等等休息一下就回家去了。他们的话我都不知道了。
So he says that as for today, they've ordered McDonald's, so they'll probably eat it later. And then once they're done eating that, he hasn't really decided. As for him, he doesn't think he's going to play mahjong, but he's not sure about the rest of the players and what they're going to do. 那上次春季赛的时候，就因为麻将不是4个人打吗？这样5个人谁不玩？你们有没有教过 River 打麻将吗？
从去年他就没打了，所以我怀疑韩国人应该是不会打麻将的。
他们好像说韩国没有麻将，所以他们应该而且他有点难教啊。
韩国没有，
我感觉韩国应该没有的。
可惜了，少了一个提款机啊。
So I asked Kai Wing about Spring Split, about when he said they played mahjong, because you on a table you have 4 people to play mahjong. With 5, it's a bit hard. I was asking who they left out and whether they've taught River how to play mahjong, and they said River hasn't actually played mahjong since last year. They tried to teach him, but it was really hard to teach him. The rest of the team, like Maple, they chimed in as well. They said that they think there's no mahjong in Korea, or at least it's a different style of mahjong. So yeah, they haven't taught it much to River. So the last question that I wanted to ask Kai Wing was that during the spring finals interview, the team said that the goal for MSI was top 4. But watching that MSI semifinal and seeing how close it was, it seemed as if the team could even aim higher than top 4. So I wanted to ask what your goals are for this time, and maybe are there any teams that you really want to meet at Worlds and get revenge on? 最后一个问题是问给凯文选手的，就是春季决赛之后那个采访，战队说你们在 MSI 的目标是打进4强。可是就 MSI 的时候看那个4强的比赛，就感觉你们 PSG 战队是可能目标还是可以更高吧。然后就想问一下，对于今年的世界赛，你们的目标会是什么呢？
目标的话就先不要被淘汰吧，第一轮就是想办法进8强。但是以我们目前这几天的状态的话，我觉得需要奇迹出现的。
So he said that, of course, they want to have a good performance over at Worlds. They're just trying to concentrate on first winning the first game in the group stages, and they're thinking of getting into the top 8 before they think about any higher goal. He also adds that he thinks that based off of the team's recent performance, especially, that they definitely need to do a lot more practice to get back into shape before Worlds starts. 好的，那再次恭喜 PSG 塔隆战队获得今年 PCS 夏季赛冠军，祝 PSG 世界赛加油，为 PCS 争光。Once again, a huge congratulations to PSG Talent, our newly crowned Pacific Championship Series Summer Split 2021 champions. All the best at Worlds， 辛苦了，主播回你们喽。
拜
拜拜。